Last time on Meadow Cheshire Hut and Bun. Neil and Slick scout out the chapter house at an old firing range. It does not appear to be open to the public. Slick asks Franklin for help with the security. He hacks and remotely accesses their systems. Slick gets shadowy while Neil deals with the maglock. They head inside, taking advantage of the APN zone's surveillance systems. Seeing heaps of armed APN doing firing range stuff, they leave the I Spy and just make themselves scarce, returning to the practice space where the magical ritual is nearly complete. The location tied to the blood sample established, we prepare to head to the derelict Golden Assurance Bank. Clay and Orla astrally recon the site while we're in transit. Getting ready to head in, Slick sees a girl who appears to be one of the subjects Charles is looking for. After some debate, Neil sends a second I Spy to tell her while we continue on with the mission. The inside of the... literally says, with a Clay providing magical diversion. With Clay providing magical diversion, we head downstairs to the vaults. Franklin gets to hacking the local system to gain access to the main vault space. Clay hauls the heavy door open and we head in to secure the vault sort of vestibule area. Franklin's sprite reports interference, and that becomes a whole thing. He summons another sprite, straining his resources to keep us concealed. Neil engineers his way past the barred door on the other side, which is flashbacks, rips it off its fucking hinges, to reveal a sprite patrolling the area between the vaults. Franklin analyzes the sprite, revealing it isn't the work of a technoman. Negotiate. The sprite tells us that someone inside one of the vaults is someone who we have, but who means us harm. Clay casts a spell to calm everyone, and Neil whips the vault door open. Inside, candlelit and smashing a drink, is Goldie. She's a bit put out about the things that happened in Germany. She tells us that the other shielded vault is full of demons that will be released if she stops sustaining the barrier. To distract her with small talk so that Slick can do something clever. The pressure of maintaining all his sprites is a bit much though, along with the patchy matrix signal, and his sprites are suddenly unbound. Clay steps in, but also cocks it up. Slick is undeterred, however, and moves in to cast Control Thoughts. Events unfold with great swiftness, and we realize that she's poisoning herself. Things get very fraught as she reveals that Flick betrayed us. Slick casts a spell. Goldie breaks down and tells us that the sprite, Sparks, knows where Flick is. He reveals that she has ingested a tetrotoxin. Neil runs for the car to get to the clinic down the block while Clay hauls Goldie up from the basement. And everyone. I guess I didn't finish writing that sentence. Neil pushes the car as hard as it'll go, barely avoiding crushing all the people crowding the clinic, crashing his VCR and sending him into bloody convulsions. Clay bursts through the crowd into the clinic with a knee slide and a sick power cord, influencing the staff to bust out the anti-venom post-haste. They get to work on Goldie. Clay goes back to see to Neil, who is poorly and needs magical healing. He's duly healed, but his VCR is burned out. Sparks is duly grateful for our swift action in saving Goldie. He provides Franklin with much delicious data as regards Flick, and curiously, Erie's macrotech. There's also a location, a hangar at the Carousel Airport, and a name, Vasquez. Gosh, wasn't that action-packed?
It really was.
And that's where we are.
Was it?
Yes.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
Still in the clinic, obviously. Well, it would be reasonably chaotic, but Clay has played away the tension to some degree.
Sick power cord.
It's really good.
So Franklin is the one that has all of that info. I think last time you sort of asked them about someone called Vasquez. But yeah, we're kind of at the point where you can interrogate the data that you've been given to find out a little bit more if you wish, or something else you may wish to do. The I Spy that Neil sent to follow Grace Shelby is obviously here because she is here as part of the throng of onlookers.
Control over the drones now that my VCR.
Start again.
Sorry. Do I still have control over the drones now that my VCR is in pieces?
That's a good question.
Or do I still because I can still access it through the matrix? I just don't have my sick VCR bonuses.
Yeah, you'd probably still be able to give them instructions. You just can't inhabit them the way that you normally would.
Okay, well, I'll resort to doing that, taking a video feed and fucking being like, go to the parish.
As a secondary consequence of your VCR essentially trying to restarting and going into diagnostic mode, is that you realize you don't have a connection to the VTOL.
Oh. I would like to, and I can't reconnect. Stuff.
Sorry, I'm losing connection to you guys a bit too. Is anybody else having difficulty following them, or just me?
Just you.
Well, I'm all good now, but I was lagging out massively. I missed a lot of the intro, and then I've got to go to my phone, but now I've realised that my screen's cracked on my phone, so it's messed up the camera. But I don't know why it's not working on my laptop.
You're a lot clearer.
Hi.
Can I get
Yeah.
Guy? Can I get you to reconnect? Maybe I don't know if it'll help me, but it'd be easier than. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's intermittent, so we'll see.
Okay. Better for now.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been putting these on this side. Oh.
So what were you saying about your connection for the VCR to the VTOL?
So my VCR's lost connection to it, but can I connect to it just using normal matrix byways, or?
Nope.
Is that a normal thing, or is it now?
That's not normal.
Oh, what a time to have Bitzy offline. Okay, this is extremely problematic.
Sure, the penny will drop any time now.
Oh, Christ. No, I mean, I'm sure there's... Yes, I'm sure there's...
just going to whistle while he's going through the data he's received.
Okay, I guess the penny dropped. Hey, Franklin, I've actually got a little bit of a problem I was wondering if you could help me out with.
I mean, does it pay?
How did...
Fucking this guy again.
How does being involved with the Shadowrun team with access to a mil-spec VTOL grab you, as opposed to one that doesn't?
I mean, it's a bit academic, really, because if one doesn't, then it doesn't change anything. For me, at least, from my perspective.
But if one does... Oh!
Curiously, the data you're going across mentions a military spec VTOL. Notably, it's offered
Interestingly,
sale.
it seems to line up with this data I've got. Franklin's like...
There is more fuckery afoot than I'd realized. Look, okay, long story short, we've got an experimental mil-spec VTOL, and my VCR just crashed because I broke it, and I can't get access to it even via the Matrix.
So, I mean, like...
Fuck, I think we lost you.
Oh, hopefully it's not me logging out this time. Oh no, I think I'm...
No, I think it's...
He's present for me too.
Oh, he's back. I think. Repeat that whole thing you just said about the stuff.
Sorry, my internet. Give me a sec.
You're back.
Okay.
No, not quite.
This is going well.
Yes, I can totally help you with that. However, generally, if something's been separated from the matrix, like that's a bit beyond my ken, and I can never
Okay.
underemphasize the importance of going there in person.
Yes, and that's certainly on the cards, but can you confirm for me with your superior skills, if it is actually disconnecting from the matrix, whether I don't know what a firewall is?
Okay, do I have access? Like, I've got access to the whole network, right? So if I seen the matrix, like, pop off, the VTOL, sorry, just slip off the matrix or something?
It's probably not something you were aware of. Like, well, I suppose from your level of access, it wasn't ever there ever since you subverted the network. It hasn't been registered. You didn't know it was a thing because why would you?
As far as I can tell, VTOL's never been on the matrix.
Well, take it from me, it was to some extent. Let me send you the IP address. Or whatever.
Okay. Right, that's useful for knowing what its IP address was. Yes.
What I'm asking you, is it actually offline, or am I just being, like, blocked somehow?
Oh, it's offline.
Try down for everyone or just me.com.
Okay, you said the data you have says something about it? This,
Yes,
I mean...
Yep, we got like mentions of Vasquez, mentions of experimental military spec VTOL with some sort of prototype intruder friend or foe detector.
Yeah, that one. Where's that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of data here.
Please go
I'm
fast.
minority reporting it.
Okay, so it talks about the hangar at Courier Airport, which is a hangar that Neil is familiar with.
So you guys got a hangar at Courier Airport?
Yeah?
Maybe we should go there.
Yeah. Yes,
Yep.
I think we should prioritize that as a matter of priority.
There is an incoming call into the network that is supposed to go to Neil's comm device, but it's obviously going via you first, Franklin.
I want to make myself look like a penguin and answer the phone and go Neil's phone.
Okay, so you see... Well, I mean, you were around, so yeah, you've seen him before. This is Vasquez, so he's kind of a tall suit with an Amerindian/Hispanic cast to his features, thick bushy black eyebrows, and a short trimmed goatee. And he says, I don't think either of us has time to mess around. Either you are Neil or you have a way of getting a message to him, possibly. Either way, I have an offer for him and his team. Probably something they're quite interested in, I suspect. Let me know.
I'd be happy to take a message and pass it along.
Well, that is the message. We'll need to talk.
I understand that. Generally, in these sorts of instances, they provide a address for the talking.
Via Matrix is fine, assuming they can do without their Decker. He forwards a...
Hold 1 second.
CG.
I bring Neil into the call and hide myself in it. Bring everyone in incognito mode.
Right.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Are you tracing the call?
Is that something I can do?
Yeah, you can.
I'm tracing the call.
Okay.
And saying, yes, I am tracing it. Oh, hi, Vasquez.
Okay, so yeah, Vasquez sort of blinks as he's transferred into a new room, presumably with Neil or his.
Yeah, it's your typical boardroom. You know, 4 marker tabletops, white walls, and one white wall, and the rest all glass walls. And on the white wall is 2. Am I back?
You are, I think. I lost you on the wall. There are 2.
On the wall, there are 2 inspirational posters. You know, teamwork together, everyone achieves more. But the pictures on the inspirational posters are all penguins. Like penguins climbing mountains, penguins sailing yachts, that sort of thing.
Penguins eating a hot dog.
Don't be silly.
Were you saying something, Gar? Because you're on mute.
It was not important.
Okay. So, Vasquez says...
Yeah.
I'm unsure if you're aware of this currently, but a rogue member of your team has offered me a piece of hardware for sale.
Motherfucking ass bitch.
So you know what I'm talking about then.
Can I roll socialize to stall them so that the trace can have a better chance or something like that?
It won't take Franklin long to
okay,
trace, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to remember that. This is on me. Let's just say that the piece of hardware in question is of importance to us, but what's of very great importance to me is I just really need to bring this rogue member of the team's face to within punching range. If that can be arranged, then we can definitely come to some kind of arrangement.
I think our interests might align in that department.
I'm very pleased to hear it.
Despite our somewhat checkered history, there are particular things that I'm involved with currently that would not benefit from the resurgence of this particular piece of hardware. And although, as I understand it, your team is not necessarily the most subtle, you have succeeded over the last few years in keeping it out of the hands of my competitors, which endears me to you somewhat. If that arrangement can continue, then I think we can come to terms.
I'm more than happy to make an agreement on that basis.
I have made a particular tentative arrangement with your colleague to accept handover of the hardware in a location in Seattle. As I understand it, he is not much of a pilot, and there are dangers to him making the flight. Therefore, his progress is going to be somewhat slow and arduous. He's told me the ETA of his arrival in about 3 hours' time. I can give you the location that he is going to bring the VTOL to, and I can provide containment for the area while you prize him out of there and take your leave.
This all sounds great, Vasquez. I do have to ask, what's the catch?
One particular catch is that I am unable to allow the VTOL to leave uncontrolled. If you fail, it will be destroyed, and any of the cargo as well.
But if we succeed, we're free and clear.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have any attention drawn to our particular dealing, and it is my hope that you can achieve a slightly lower series of alarm bells than the action that I would take.
Okay, so it's an all or nothing thing. We get him out, we get it away, or it gets exploded, as does he.
I understand you're a professional team as well, and certainly remuneration would be on the table. I know you have a personal interest in this, but I can certainly take care of any expenses that you might incur in this brief duration.
Okay, what's the time frame?
3 hours time, the landing will happen.
Okay. Well, I'll just quickly switch over to group chat and be like, anyone have any ideas about how to get to Seattle in 3 hours?
It's not actually that far away. It's like an hour and a half by road, or you could fly.
Oh, fuck.
Ben,
You realize choose the fucking visas and shit.
how
Yeah,
long is left on my clock?
You've got a trace. So, the location.
No, the other clock.
Which? It's. I think it's just slightly less than an hour.
Well, yeah, I relay that to the team, and I'm like, I can only keep up what I'm doing for another hour. And then he's going to know.
Do you think
too
it's
many
worth
variables.
asking for Vasquez's help, or would that be more trouble than it's worth?
I guess it depends.
I mean, yeah, ask for his help. He seems like a real stand-up guy. He's offering us this real good deal.
I mean,
he seems like real
well,
straight shooter.
okay. I mean, I think it's probably buttering his balls a little bit too heavily, but I'll see what I can see. So I flick back to.
You remember Franklin's never dealt with Vasquez
Yeah.
before.
So yeah, flick back to the call and just be like, okay. So one situation we have at this end is that our hacker is keeping our network, which had been infiltrated by the subject, secure from him, but he can only keep that up for another hour. So if there's any way to get some kind of, like, can someone build a firewall? I don't know how these things work. Can we get a decker?
I was under the impression that your friendly hackers had absconded.
Oh, everything's in flux at the moment.
I mean, like, I could just, like, fight him in the Matrix when the hour's up, and that could give you guys some time to find the VTOL in the real. Maybe even slow him down some. But I haven't got my sprites on me, and I don't know how many he's summoned.
Yeah, my concern would be that he is flying the VTOL at the moment and not necessarily very good at it. And if you fry his brain remotely, it'll crash into the countryside.
So Vasquez says,
I could take over the VTOL.
You could.
Guys, point of order. Are we all working on the assumption that he's in transit with Bitzy?
Fuck.
Do we have enough information to go on in that regards, or?
That's a good fucking point. I hadn't thought of that. That's something to keep in mind. Because if she's on there, we can't let Vasquez blow it up regardless, obviously.
Wait, wasn't Sparks meant to... It was meant to be in the information that Franklin's going through, wasn't it?
Yeah. Franklin, can you control F?
Control F. What am I looking for?
Bitzy, is she with...
Your benefactor, man. After this is over, we're gonna have a serious conversation about your prioritization of information.
No. We're gonna have a serious conversation about your communication skills because you're not communicating clearly. Now, could you please tell me what you want me to find?
The person that hired you to help her.
Why didn't you say that at the beginning? Right.
I shouldn't have to.
You just told me to control it. You fucking minstrel! Stay in your lane.
Yeah, I'm with you, Clay. Franklin, you're a smart guy. Surely you fucking could figure that out, man. Come on.
What? From context clues?
It's implied.
Just control F. Just control F.
You will need to analyze.
And another thing. 2 dice for analyze, please.
So controlled.
No more giving me shit for my dice rolling, eh? Hey.
Hey, my first time.
It's my first day. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Okay, so yeah, there are a couple of sort of data threads. Nothing. The reason that you're analyzing is that there was nothing overt. There's nothing that says, "Haha, my master plan is to take Bitzy with me." There's just a few different things that are buried in the data, which of course is transmitted third hand through a sprite as well, which means it's not necessarily in. Even though you're a technomancer, you're not a sprite, so you're still translating it from the particular resonance language that they tend to favor as well. But you could tug on some of those threads with a riskier roll, which again might run the risk of alerting Flick earlier. Or you could lie and say, yes, it's totally about this. Or no, it's totally about this.
Yeah, it's totally about this. Right, now I've got that petty nuisance off my back. Is there a way that I can call to the sprites that have become unbound and request their assistance?
Which ones are you talking about?
The ones I've summoned and then became unbound when I freaked out.
You'd have to recompile them.
Balls. Okay. In which case, yeah, I'm going to compile a sprite. And
would you like it to be?
What's that?
How strong would you like it to be? Sounds like a loaded question, doesn't it? Because it is.
Yeah. I mean, like, for me, if I get a bit faded all in a day's work. So yeah, I'm gonna summon another very powerful sprite. And I'm going to, but for roleplay purposes, I'd like to call out to my my personal protector sprite and recompile him. Like, I literally want, like, if he's willing to come back from the ether, I want Sir Ping's a lot back.
Very well.
So 3 dice.
And yeah, this is max power, right?
Yeah. Don't fuck up. You fucked up.
Okay. Fading would be a fairly significant problem at this level.
Well, it's a success with a consequence. So.
Yeah, you'd still have your.
And is it controlled? Is it desperate? Like.
It's desperate if it's max power.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, the fading does take you. In this case, it's ironically, you feel all the strength drain out of your muscles, essentially. So you'll suffer an injury which will basically be crippled. You're still capable of doing everything in the matrix you need to do, but you can barely move yourself.
So yeah, after yelling at Clay and staring off into the middle distance, Franklin just vomits blood and collapses bonelessly to the floor.
Good thing you're in a clinic.
I'm fine.
Oh no.
But yes, you do revive Serpings a lot.
Serpings a lot, you came back. The anchovies are in my pocket. I can't reach for
them. So, noticing this, again, the clinic crew put him to the top of the line, and he's put on a gurney as well. They start trying to treat him.
I just want to point out that we're time critical right now. We're going to be out of another country in 3 hours.
Vasquez is still on the line too.
Can you hang up?
Hey, bro. Well, can I just ring you back on this number?
The clock's ticking, as I'm sure you're aware.
Oh, yes, quite. Oh, yeah, hang on.
In terms of your Decker problem, I would suggest that knowledge of if your friend knows that you're coming after him, that will motivate him to sell and put him in a desperate situation, which is probably to your advantage. As long as he doesn't know about our arrangement.
It occurs to me that he won't be able to necessarily do much clever matrix shit while he's trying to fly a machine he doesn't know how to fly. Sorry, thinking out loud.
I'm told.
Yes, that sounds like a thing that makes sense. Franklin, does that make? Oh fuck! Sorry, you all right, mate? Yeah, no.
No, I'm good. I'm peachy. Clearly, I'm peachy.
Right.
What else do you need from me, guys?
Get better.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn to the doctor, who's probably just wiping shit off him at the stage.
We're all in the clinic. We're all in the clinic.
Oh, actually, that's a point. I don't know.
I think we're all.
Yeah, I think you're all
Sure.
there.
Yeah.
How long until he can move? Travel.
Okay, so the doctor, who's a young, well, possibly young elf girl, looks up and says, it seems like he's suffered some dumb shock, fairly severe, as far as I can tell. I wouldn't recommend him doing anything particularly strenuous. He needs some bed rest and fluids.
For like 20 minutes?
Fluids I can do. I always carry fluids. Franklin,
I don't think beer counts.
It's a fluid. Franklin, we gotta go to Seattle post haste. Do you want to come with us, or should we? Or you want to?
Yeah, put me in a wheelchair. I'll be right as rain. No worries. Let's go.
Okay, so I'll look with all earnestness at the doctor and be like, "What's the deposit on a wheelchair?" That will definitely be returned straight away.
48 hours.
Just to recap, though, did we get an answer to the Bitzy situation, or fake getting an answer?
Franklin said yeah. She's totally on board.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
Regarding the Franklin sort of pipes up in the comm chat, but that thing Vasquez said, him knowing he might be onto something. You want me to pull the old switcheroo? And when I say pull the old switcheroo, I mean drop my illusion of pretending to be all of you guys, and then forcibly eject him from the network.
Maybe not right at the minute. Maybe we save that for a little bit later.
Maybe once we arrive into the country.
So you've only got an hour on that anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so should we let the hour play out while we're in transit, so at least we're closer to the place?
Okay. Alright. So I'm just gonna look here.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's a 7-seater.
Sweet.
You chuck you some vitamin water, the pink kind.
Haven't you heard this? That's just all sugar.
I'd chuck you some vitamin water, the beer kind.
You getting him a wheelchair as well from the clinic?
Well, I never got an answer on the deposit, so...
So after what could be charitably described as a Bert stare, she makes the arrangements for 500 million.
You can buy a car for that. I mean, no, fine, thank you. We'll definitely return. Obviously, we'll fucking return it now because you buy a car for that. But yes,
hey, it's a pool clinic. It's a pool clinic and the equivalent of the Barons.
I know you've got to make your fucking money, but Jesus Christ. You're actually counting on me not returning it, aren't you?
Dude, it's fine. You got plenty of fucking money, man.
It'll be a charitable donation if I steal your fucking wheelchair, won't it? I'm fine with it. It's okay. I understand.
It's fine.
Thank you. You've been kind.
All right. So she goes on to the next patient.
Does she walk away saying, I don't get paid enough for this shit?
Slick, is this an opportunity? Are you taking an opportunity to pursue your mission for Charles?
Well, can I just clarify exactly where I am? Because I actually missed the end of the recap. I was having a lot of internet issues and I was jumping in and out. So
I think everyone made it to the clinic in the end. Even if you weren't there for Goldie getting fixed up, I'm pretty sure you would have made it there in the interim because it's only a block away from the bank.
Right, so I'm there with everybody else.
I believe so.
Well, yeah. Hey, Neil, where's that? How's that drone doing?
It's here.
And that girl.
It's here in the clinic, and so she's in the clinic as well.
Wait, what? Well,
I think he's asking about the one we left at the firing range.
No, he's asking about the one about the wall.
She's in the waiting room. It's just everyone else was first of all dealing with Goldie dying tetrotoxin, and then dealing with Franklin vomiting blood. So there's been a few medical emergencies that might have taken your attention away from that particular thing.
Oh shit! Right. Well, what am I supposed to do? Well, she's still there.
Yeah, in the waiting room.
What was her name again? Because I did know the names. Grace.
This could be 2 birds with 1 stone. We're going to Seattle. Let's just fucking bring her along and tell her not to say anything bad to customs. Oh shit.
Well, I think we need to figure out what's going on with her first, Neil. I think I just need to go and talk to her and see if See if she's happy where she is, because she might have actually, herself turned. I need to find out what the situation's about first. So I think I'm just gonna.
Do you know her personally?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to set the mood, Slick?
Yes, dude, set the fucking mood.
Right.
I don't care.
I'll play some.
Well, could that actually
jazz.
help Clay? Like, would that make her more, I don't know, happy?
He's not trying to seduce her, right?
No, it's just
just to be more
relaxing, non-confrontational, smooth jazz.
It is good to be clear on that, though.
I don't want to scare her. I don't want to like make her panic or anything. So, like, if Clay could keep things calm and happy.
It's not going to override consent, guys.
Right, yeah. Well, I think Slip goes over and, I don't know, is she looking at us? If she's not, maybe he just kind of taps her on the shoulder and says, "Hey, are you Grace?"
I feel like everyone's looking at us.
Okay, so, well, first of all, Clay, so are you doing that?
Yeah, I'm just playing a little nice. Probably something appropriate for a hospital waiting room, certainly. But
the MASH theme song. All right, so yeah, I'll get you to do your spell again because.
Cool. Yeah.
All this time, and been going.
4 dice, please. Oh, come on.
My hands aren't really big enough to fit more than like 2 dice.
Is that why there have been no 6s yet?
I mean, there were 3 5s.
So you're saying that you can't fit 6s in your small palms?
All right, so
leave out the ones.
I've only had 3 rolls, man. Girls had worse rolls.
So a success with a consequence. Generally speaking, I assume you're casting it kind of. Well, I mean, it could be controlled, really. It's something low powered. So, just the consequence in this case will just be diminished effect, mostly because the same spell essentially has been cast in such a short space of time that people are still a little more resistant to it.
Fair enough.
But it's still having an effect, just not quite as...
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, you tap her on the shoulder. She, kind of spins around, gives a slight kind of frown. Like, who wants to know?
No one. Well, just me. I recognize you. I'm from. You might not know me. I don't really know you. I just remember your face. We're from. I think we're from the same area in the Barrens. Like, what brings you here?
I put myself here. Land of opportunity. Look around you. She kind of looks over at the blood stain on the ground that's kind of getting steam mopped up. She's like, "You know that guy? That was fucking wild."
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, the whole situation was pretty dangerous. Like, you're pretty comfortable with it. Are you sure you chose to be here? Is this actually what you want to? Where you want to be? What are you doing? Like, how do you survive? I've heard you're working for one of the gang members around here.
All right, so kind of narrow a bit. She's like, "Were you around asking questions about me the other day?"
Well, might have been me, might not have been me. I'm just trying to help you out. That's all I'm trying to do. I just want to know, what you're here for.
Well, I'm getting along just fine down here. Much better than back in the Barrens, that's for sure. I mean, you look like if we're from the same neighborhood, you seem to be doing all right, apart from all that shit that's going on with you.
I mean, I'm doing all right. How's Miles? Where's Miles?
He had to have a sit down. He was. He needs to have think some things over. You see her kind of rub her fist.
Is that
Did he
fucking
choose
code?
to be here?
And we all make choices.
Sounds like he might be I don't know, a bit torn.
He's coming around.
Should he really be coming round? Are you sure you're you know, what made you want to leave the Barrens? Like, you know, what about Charles? Charles was there to help you.
Yeah, Charles there to pour soup and give us paper to read. Like, down here we can actually make some money, and we are. Thanks to Miles' uncle, he's hooked us up pretty good. Miles just needs a little bit of time to realize what he's got.
Is there any way where you know, can I talk to Miles?
Free country.
Where is he then? Can you take me to him?
Well, I got to get this scene to first. Been in line for a good half an hour now, and you and your friends butting ahead didn't really help that out much.
All right, well, I can wait.
That's what the room's for, bud.
Can you wait though?
Yeah. Also, maybe we could.
Take her to Seattle with us, and
I
can heal her.
Yeah. Find out what's wrong. Fucking, we got magicians on board.
I assume we're in chat now, but man, I don't even know. I don't know what's up, guys. I don't even know really what I want to do. You know, she sounds happy enough, but I don't know. Who am I to tell?
Well, you
what
back
you know,
to
to do with their life. You know, she has a good point.
Yeah, I don't know, but what really
back of the Barrens.
What really helped was how you lied to her and and about how you were looking after her and didn't mention Charles in any way. That was real helpful.
Well, I've got to say this. Like, I kind of agree. Like, she's kind of done nothing different to what we've done.
No.
I mean, I'm like, oh no, she's getting involved with organized crime. Us, on the other hand, we're totally above board. You know, like.
Yeah, that's why I just want to make sure. That's why I just want to make sure that Miles is all right. If he's
right,
you know, it sounds like he might be having second choices. If I can help get him out, then I will. But I think she's made her choice. She seems happy enough.
Okay, so this is gang shit. So this is a thing where kids like that could get exploited heavily. So obviously, it kind of behooves us in terms of what Charles wants to prevent that. But on the other hand, if they're actually doing well out of it, then I'm more than happy to say, hey Charles, everything's fine. Fuck off.
Well, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to word it to Charles just quite yet, but you know,
was that not good?
Well, I mean, yeah, I might. I don't want to sit there and like hide anything from Charles, but I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to let him know. I don't even know what's going to happen yet. First, we need to. I want to wait for things to pan out first, and then we'll.
Okay.
Then I'll let
This
Charles
sure
know.
seems like backburner material, to be honest.
And just to be clear as well, Charles didn't say go and bring them back to Seattle. He just wanted you to check up on them and make sure they're okay.
Yeah, he just
okay.
Just
well, done.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've certainly done it in terms of grace.
Cool. And then, should we go to Seattle?
Yeah, I don't think we've got time to look at after Miles right at the minute, but it seems like she's at least keeping. I mean, we've done at least due diligence on this, right?
Yep.
Give your AR business card or whatever, and it's time. Let's move on.
Give me your number. Call me if you need me.
Baron's kids stick together. Fist
I don't
bump.
know. I want
Peace
to.
out.
It's just the way she worded it. She said he'll come around. Like, you know, I don't think, you know, I need to go find Miles. You know, I'm gonna have to see it through.
Are you going to come to Seattle with us then?
I think, like, can that not an hour and a half away?
Sorry, I'm muted.
Can that not wait till we get back from Seattle? It's only an hour and a half away.
Well, if it's only an hour and a half, all right, fair enough. We'll go do that first.
Each way.
I'll stick with you.
All right. She said, just like maybe just reinforce to her that to keep an eye on him in the meantime.
I don't know how much good that'll do, but yeah.
Yeah. So, or it's just like to Neil, how are we getting to Seattle?
If I got a car?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
I
so
just got to drive it manual style like in the olden days. I don't have to hand crank it, but I might as well fucking well. I got to like operate the steering wheel with my physical hands.
all right.
That's a
Can
novelty.
Franklin do something real quick before you
Franklin's
get going?
indisposed in the back seat.
Well, Franklin is also like able to use the Matrix still, and being a sucker for punishment, I'd like to summon one more sprite.
What is this penguin wearing?
This penguin is going to be wearing a long trench coat and a trilby hat and sunglasses, and be chain smoking cigarettes with a notebook dangling out of his pocket and a pencil behind his ear. And he's going to be like a very weak sprite, because his whole job is, if you would be so kind, is to please follow this woman, Matrixly, and when she comes close to another tune, if he could please tell me Miles's location.
Okay. Easy enough done. Alright, so controls. Do your analyze.
So that's
No.
3 dice, please.
Wow.
That'll do.
Is that what the luck of the Irish is?
So again, potentially decreased effect will be the consequence, meaning that because of how weak you are and it is, it will only persist for a couple of hours. So as long as she runs into Miles before that time elapses, it will do as you ask.
Yeah, because that hospital waiting room is moving.
Or you could free up some spaces. Go heal some.
Oh.
Well, that's the best I can do. And I'm not going to mention that I even did it.
Cool.
Do you want me to heal this, like... What kind of color do I have?
Sorry.
Slick, do you want me to heal her?
Oh, I said I was gonna.
Oh.
She with us?
I think, I think I kind of stepped back towards you guys. I don't know if we're all together.
Are we all in the... I want to bundle all of us in the car and get on our way. And then I can... And then one of us can get on the healing. But we need... I want us to be on the road.
No, yeah, we're all... Sorry, yeah, go on.
Sorry, who are you healing?
Grace.
She's not coming with you. So you
Okay.
can stay here and heal. It doesn't take long to cast the heal spell, but that will get her out of here earlier, which will help Franklin's efforts, but you don't know about those.
Yeah, that was mine.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do that then. I'll quickly do it. Because she's got, what, like a fractured wrist or whatever, right?
Yeah, it seems to be a simple conventional injury.
Well, I'll quickly smash out a heal thing. Which is my side.
Well, yeah, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
Cool. I'll roll my fight.
Well, Slick kind of obviously has to go over and kind of say to her, you know, hey, like, you know, one of my teams here is going to heal you up and get you out of here quicker.
Boom! There you go.
Okay.
So when you're rolling for yourself, the 6 chip up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's why I made that look like.
Just saves them up for her rolls. Yeah. Okay, so it costs you a karma to make the spell permanent.
Oh yeah.
Takes a
Right.
little while. Okay, so yeah, she's still kind of under the receptive effect of clay spell, so she allows it to happen, though she looks a bit bemused. Other people around look a little unsettled, sort of watching it happen. It's not seeing magic live is still not a common occurrence, even.
Get used to it.
But yeah, she flexes her hand and she's like, "Hey, that's cool."
You're welcome. Now let's fuck off.
Slick probably also mentions to her that that he, you know, we're gonna like, hey, look, you know, I'm gonna be back. You know, I've just got to go somewhere else. You know, but you know, I'm only a few hours away. I'm gonna be back. I will be here to find you because you need to show me where Miles is.
Yeah, sure thing. Be seeing you, I'm sure.
Yeah. And
All right.
Slick walks away.
Okay, so heading to the car, the motley group.
On the road?
On the road.
Yes, I would like to drive like it's the olden days and operate the steering wheel with my big stupid old hands.
How olden days is it? Like, is it a manual?
No, I doubt that.
you can drive it the way that most people drive it, so you don't have to go full manual. But if you want to, you
Oh, that's a point. I can just grid guide on and let it drive us automatically 180 k's an hour.
Well, yes. That's the only problem with grid guide is it tends to follow the rules.
But I mean, grid guide's like pretty good, right? Like, because that 180 k an hour, that's from the Shadowrun book. That's how fast they drive. And it seems excessive to me, but what do I know? I'm just a race car driver.
God.
Like, literally, the very fastest I've driven my car on the racetrack is 183.
Jesus. Yikes. Okay. So, yeah, racing straight up to the border, going north of the border. Were you going to call Vasquez as well? You said you were going to call him back.
Yeah, I sort of meant that to be like, if necessary. But if it seemed like it was a courtesy, then I'll totally do it. And be like, I'll just make a courtesy call and be like, yo, we're on the way.
I haven't been appraised of any change of plans, so you still have time to make it here before he arrives.
Okay, well, ETA is thus and so.
You should be reasonably familiar with the layout of the location.
Yeah, but grid guide's faster.
Sure.
So I just brought Google Maps and it's like 2 hours 53, but grid guide's faster, so it's fine.
We actually to Portland.
What's
Yeah,
that?
but we actually drove from Seattle to Portland on the way.
Sorry, I lost you there for a sec. What did you say?
It's not important. We actually drove from Seattle to Portland, water on the way, so. And also had to drive the car manually like a fucking Philistine.
Yeah, the main difference in the sixth world would be the border stops, etc., and there's still traffic. Because you have to cross two borders. You have to go into Salish lands and then into Seattle proper. But I mean, you're not carrying any contraband or anything like that, are you?
That's a good point. So a battle of guns we've got, guys. You're muted, Mutton.
There are ways around this, but I'm just curious to see which one you might be looking at.
I feel like at this point, Orla always has some sort of small gun strapped to like her ankles.
It's not
What guns?
unusual, and it's also not illegal if you have the correct paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So, Franklin, do you think it's possible to obtain the correct sixth world equivalent of paperwork? So that, or
In a short amount of time.
also you're still muted.
You're still
He's
muted.
he's really doing the whole thing, isn't he? God.
Damn.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
All right. Yeah. Might Hunter Shine again. Okay. All right. Complex action shop. I'm making all the correct paperwork for everyone.
Including visas?
Including what?
Visas or whatever?
Oh, do we need visas?
Well, I guess some of us are from Seattle natives, so...
Does Orla need one? Because she's sort of like an international sort of student visitor.
I mean, what sort of sins are you guys running on anyway? Or some sort of amateur sinner that you need visas in this shit in the first place?
My sin is actually really quite good quality, but it's been covered with quite a lot of dirt.
So get a new one.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's on the shopping list.
Yeah, you're basically you probably should be able to make it on Orla's one is legit, at least until she ends up faking her own death, and there will be a change of pace.
Yeah.
Does she have diplomatic immunity?
No.
Oh.
Well, because she doesn't have her royal identity, so no. Everyone else has. Well, I don't know about Franklin. I mean, I assume he's had enough time to fabricate his paperwork if he needed to, so there's no real concern for him. Clay, as well, is potentially a resident of the tour. It's only really Neil and Slick that have fake paperwork.
Yeah, I'm
Mine-
dodgy as. I'm probably the dodgiest.
Yeah, so my sin is a level 5, but I did buy that at character creation, and I suspect some shit has stuck to it by this point.
Well, notably as well, your death in Seattle.
You died?
Yeah, they needed to get
Here's the whole thing.
jam. Yeah, because your death had to be on record, essentially.
Oh, so that was basically burning that sin. All right.
Yeah, but I mean,
Cost me quite a lot.
it lasted a while. You would still be able to, because you do have a sort of provisional, semi-dodgy tour, because you've got the VAV attached to it. So you do kind of have a tour identity. So you'd be able to enter Seattle for a limited time. You know, you'd basically be on a visitor's visa there too.
How
That's
long
all
do we need?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Famous us.
It'd just be the usual. If anyone takes a detailed look at your paperwork, it will probably crumble. So if you got scooped up by the authorities, border crossing not going to be an issue.
Okay. Well, they're not as hard out on the road borders as they are in airports and shit. So
we were diverted off the freeway in New Mexico into a massive hangar to check all our passports and shit, just like all the other traffic was, because we were a little bit near to Mexico, and that was before the awakening.
Yeah, but in the sixth world, because everything's automated, as long as your paperwork looks okay, particularly because the borders are so fractious, they can't spend the time that they would. Um, they just leave everything to the machines. It's just
Okay.
if there's anything dodgy picked up on, then they'll go a bit more hardcore because
Okay.
problems.
You've convinced me. There's no problem.
I've talked you into it being easy. Like I say, the only real problem is simply the quantity of firearms, etc., that you have.
I ain't got any.
Is it possible?
Firearms we really have.
Is it
Yeah, I know
possible?
you two don't, and Slick doesn't really either, and neither does Franklin. So it's only really Neil is the
Well,
concern. Yeah.
the thing is, I kind of have over the last week or two basically collected enough firearms for everyone. Which, if you say this is one person's firearms, that looks suspicious. Hey, Franklin, is it possible to just append a little thing to our paperwork saying, and by the way, they're on a hunting trip and everything's fine?
We're on our way to an enthusiast collector show.
Yeah, they're antiques or something.
All right, so this is where
Franklin
you
is just going to sigh like
Oh, sweet.
a disappointed mother when she's walked in and found that her kids have smashed her most prized bars. She's gonna be like, I regret having you. Sure. And I try to make that happen.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, a reasonably simple shop should be enough to do that.
Just out of character though, I seem to recall Chase creating a cache of weapons or something after
Cache.
Sure. After they faked their death. So Neil could potentially just call on him and leave all his shit behind.
That's definitely something Neil would do if he was paying attention.
I didn't remember that, so yeah.
Okay.
I'll assume it's a thing. Sure. I mean, there's probably a few of Morty's stashes around as well, to be honest.
Morty's ones you don't touch if you don't want your hands full of.
Well, that's true. Oh, he's not picking up. Don't worry, I'm sure he'll let us in anyway. Kaboom.
Where's more?
All right, so yeah, if you'd rather just make contact with Chase and get access to his stuff, that's possible as well.
Yeah, so I'll make that call. So I'm assuming we've got a little bit of time on the road before we get to the first border anyway, so I'll ring Chase. Bring, bring. That's how phones sound. Why did I do it that way?
You do this one.
Hello?
Chase, mate.
Hey, Neil, what's going on, man?
You wouldn't read about it, mate.
Well, I hope not that.
Well, yeah, that would actually be bad.
Yeah.
We're actually on the road to Seattle, and border crossings being what they are, we're leaving a certain amount of hardware in the tour. I was wondering if your little cache was still.
Oh, shit, yeah. How soon do you need it?
Probably an hour and a half.
All right, I'll just need to find a pickaxe or whatever, and yeah. You think he's joking?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Is he gonna be John Wicking it?
Yeah, that's the implication he's going for, but you're not really sure.
I left this life behind. Is everyone going to start asking whether Chase is back?
I'll flick you the address.
I don't know the John Wick reference.
Oh, God, you guys and your movies.
Keanu, right? I haven't seen the new Bill and Ted either. Sue me.
I haven't seen that.
You can skip
I saw
that.
the new Bill and Ted. It was great. It was just
Great. Okay.
it was enjoyable, and that is the best review I can give a movie. It was enjoyable. Maybe it wasn't good, but it was enjoyable.
That's
Well-
what you want from a film.
Well, I mean,
though.
I'm a Kevin Smith fan, so obviously that's enough for me.
Okay, I'm going to use this to segue into it's probably break time anyway. So
All right, let's get back into it.
Let's. Okay, so driving up north. Back to Seattle. I'm trying to think of what time of day it was when you were at the clinic. When did you go there?
I feel like it was late afternoon.
Yeah, I think that was it because you guys had been you did the ritual to locate where Bitzy was. That took several hours. So yeah, by now it must be getting to sundown kind of time. You're driving north, so the sun's on your left, dipping down into the horizon, and yeah, up ahead of you, you can see the looming sprawl. It's a little valley by the sea, by the sound. Lights, the light pollution already evident, spreading over the dim haze that is the southernmost entrance into the Puyallup Barrens, a place that's very familiar to Slick and Neil, as a wispy ash cloud from Mount Rainier washes over it.
Wow, this place is a dump.
I didn't get any of that, Neil.
I said, fuck yeah, home sweet home. I found that in the books.
All right, so yeah, brief dalliance at the border gate. You're allowed access without comment.
Thanks, Franklin.
No worries. Ow!
I need to going on, Frank. They need it.
Sorry.
He's always been rude to us. He keeps charging us for random stuff.
I bet he'll charge me for this.
Surely he will.
I keep trying to charge you guys, but I've never actually charged you guys.
He mostly just
Yet.
He mostly just threatens to.
Yeah, probably
Is
keeping
it
it
something
tally.
like a heal?
So the location you've been given is one that Neil actually knows about, because it is the very same facility where you took the VTOL from in the first place. In Everett,
Oh shit!
the off-the-books location.
When I did my when I started doing NaNoWriMo, I actually basically wrote that mission in prose. Fucking hell. I did a bad job because I didn't find my notes about it, so but whatever.
Coincidentally, it's also the first place you met Bitzy.
Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we met her at that place in that park where there were.
You abducted her.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that didn't make it into my NaNoWriMo story because I had forgotten.
She
Like
turned
if anyone knows, Ben knows.
up. She turned up with the gang to take what you guys were going to steal, essentially. You killed the gang leader, Trunky, who was her boyfriend, and then abducted her. Wow, you didn't
Right, what a way to start.
It wasn't abduction, but it was because she was an enemy. You knocked her out, and you put her on board the VTOL and left.
I realized that was that same mission. I thought those are two separate things. Fucking hell.
That was our first ever mission. Morty had that assault rifle at the time. Those were good days.
Yeah, it was an ongoing thing that Morty had killed her boyfriend and he was not being very forthcoming about it.
She knows.
Right. Chop chop.
So Everett is North Seattle, or at least not super far north, but well, actually no, I think it's the northernmost part. So you're gonna have to drive all the way through Seattle to get there, treading some familiar ground along the way. It hasn't changed much. Grid guide probably doesn't take the way that you would have taken, Neil, so you can always override it if you will.
What I would like to do is make a roll to try to determine a quicker route.
You may do that.
What do I need to be rolling for that bad boy, do we think?
There's a few options. It kind of just depends how Neil is doing it. Like, if you
And
were...
So- My pitch would be maneuver because I'm thinking about getting through traffic.
So, yeah, I think you can use maneuver to solve the problem. It would be a different way. You wouldn't be analyzing kind of with maneuver. You would just be driving through traffic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you can do that.
analyze.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because my analyze skills are not amazing.
There's also, I don't think your intuit would be as well, but that would be potentially another action that's possible to use in the same circumstance.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Drive by feel.
Tip top.
Wow, things are going really well for you guys so far. Well, it's controlled at the moment because presumably you're just trying to get around within most of the legal limits. And you do for a time until you kind of realize that you've kind of now put yourself into a bit more of a bind, so you will head into an area with tighter traffic, which won't slow you down necessarily, but it means that when you test again, it's going to be more dangerous. You're basically heading probably around the Redmond side. You basically took a turn that you didn't expect, or put on a one-way road that wasn't there before.
Well, I will guess I will just try again. I've got no karma to resist, so I'm just going to try again at the higher doodle. Could I have another 3 dice, please, and better numbers?
So your familiarity with Pullup saw you through that particular urban wasteland, but now that you're in the lesser familiar area of Redmond, and the sun has gone down, as we're still sort of in the last gasps of winter, early autumn, the street predators are out and about, and you will attract attention from go-gangers driving this not super fancy, but fancier than the typical fare in this part of the Redmond Barrens.
So the long and short of this is, if I don't resist, we'll attract attention. Is there an option to just try again, or do I actually have to resist to avoid that?
You have to resist to avoid that.
None. I just figured rolling 6 dice, I'd get at least 1 6. Seemed reasonable.
Hey Neil, do we want a crow spirit to lift us out of this situation?
Going to that well again?
Look,
I mean, it
man,
worked pretty well last time.
a little bit of a magic help would be a thing. I feel like that is a little bit the nuclear option.
Could we make the whole car invisible?
That
And
Yes.
and the contents?
It's been
Well,
done
yes,
before.
yes,
It used to be the
not
go-to
Wonder
option.
Woman. Yeah. Mike has rolled those dice many a time.
Pre-giant crow days.
Should we do that then?
Cool.
Is it a one-person thing?
Yes, I vote yes for that because it looks like we're fucking lost. Like,
Yeah.
we need to get back on track.
If that can mitigate my apparently consistently shit decisions, yes.
Yes, you can do that.
Clay.
I
Rock,
don't
paper,
know.
scissors.
I don't know shit about invisibility.
Oh, okay, I'll do it then. Whatever.
I mean, you guys are vetoing the giant crow option. Your loss.
I know this is actually a really good plan because this is her spell, so she rolls it.
I mean, out of character, sure.
Okay, so the way that it should work is that the downside that you suffer casting spells on technical stuff. So basically, the more simple the machine or substance you're casting it on, the easier it is to cast the spell. In this case, it would be starting at a lesser effect, which means your spell wouldn't, by default, wouldn't completely disguise it, but it would kind of camouflage it to some degree, which means sharp-eyed people could still see it. You may either spend karma or you could like take a devil's bargain or something like that you can push to improve the effect up to standard, which would make it invisible to damn near everybody.
Problem is, I've got 3 karma. What was
It's
that thing?
possible that it's dark enough that a lesser effect would do the job.
Well, it is kind of getting on twilight, right?
Redmond isn't known for its bright lights.
What I'm hearing is that a giant crow wouldn't be that easy to spot in the night sky.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Giant crow.
Giant crow.
Really?
I don't know. I missed that whole bit. I thought I was just making it invisible. But am I making some illusion?
What I'm saying is that because a car is a machine, like a complex machine, your magic is less effective unless you power it a bit more.
Okay.
So it will still disguise it, like I guess kind of Predator styles. Like it'll be difficult to see, but it won't be fully invisible unless you push.
And pushing means spending a karma. 2 karma. Oh, I can't do that.
Okay.
So I'll just vanilla do it.
Check your method. You can't
No push. So that's my site.
Uncanny.
All right, so yeah, the car fades from view, and yeah, it seems that the Go Gang is either lose interest or can't see well enough to pursue you.
We shall continue in the fastest way possible.
My thumb's dirty or my love broken.
Okay. So you make it through just the cusp of the Redmond Barrens that you scrape through, going around Touristville, and heading into Everett, which is a bit more of an industrial area. Lots of smokestacks, manufacturing plants, and industrial complexes run by the various mega corporations. A few residential areas that look fairly old and dilapidated, but not to the extent of the Barrens. This is blue-collar neighborhood for the most part, except for a few exclusive zones where you're more likely to find the middle management. And yeah, you find yourself rolling up to the chain link fence with the drone shipping factory looming in the background. A security gate at the front and a long gravel driveway leading up to the plant itself. The information that you've got from Vasquez is that within probably the next 20 minutes or so, you should see Flick land in the drop-off zone that's at the rear of the building. So behind the building itself, there's an area surrounded by a few sets of storage containers and the building itself. So like a square field, shipping containers, and the building. It's about 100 meters square.
Did we have time to stop off at Chase's Cafe?
Yeah, we'll say so.
Thank fuck.
So you said Chase's Cafe for a second.
That too.
Yeah, we needed the caffeine.
Yeah, like a soy cafe.
Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, he probably put those in the cachet. So. Little bows around them, ribbons.
Look at us. A cadre raiding a cache.
But not a cafe. Compadre.
Yes, Neil. Yes,
So
Neil.
the last time you saw the factory was, I don't know, how long has it been in character? Like a year and a half, maybe two.
Some of us have never seen it.
Probably a lot less. In real time, it's probably been 3
Most
years.
of us.
Yeah, in real time, it's been a long time. So, if anything, it looks worse than it did the last time you saw it. It's probably not even in operation anymore. Before, it was down to the very bare minimum of automated tasks, very occasionally. But these days, there's no lights on. Nothing seems to be operating at all, including the security gate. Frankly, you're not really getting anything from it. There are systems here and subsystems, but they're all basically on the bare minimum of security intrusion. There are a few security systems scattered around the perimeter, but none of them particularly pose any difficulty. They're there for just casual theft purposes. There's nothing here that would stand up to your level of ability.
A thought occurs to me. It's been an hour.
It has been an hour. That's true. Well, I mean...
So this would have been when we were just passing into Seattle kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But he is a little busy, so it's possible he hasn't noticed just yet.
But I'm going to bring it up with the guys. I'm going to be like, guys, you want me to spring this trap? I think it's time for me to spring this trap.
You're the fucking expert, man.
Do it, man. Do it.
I mean, we're here. You guys got ages to get set up. I'm gonna go wrestle.
Prod the bear.
We're not concerned that it might cause them to crash or anything like that?
Well, it's going to happen sooner or later, and I can't make it last longer. So, it's now or never, essentially. So I do it. But right over the course of like however long I've been running this ruse, I did mention like I've been wanting to like pay attention to like how it all feels, Flick's resonant fingerprints and that sort of thing. Because how I'd like this to go down is for me to like sort of try to pretend to be Flick to throw his sprites off a little bit.
Okay. That's doable with your shop ability.
Yep. Alright. So take a breath, center myself, and I say, "Hey, fuckface!" As everyone over the comm channel, they all say in unison, "Hey, fuckface!"
Okay.
Were we supposed to say fuckface? What?
No, he's simulating
No.
your voices.
Oh, okay.
All right. So yeah, you feel a sensation of like the wind changing to some degree. Attention is paid. And yeah, hear a voice is like, "What the hell?"
Don't bring this amateur hour shit with me, motherfucker. You should be embarrassed. And as all of them are yelling this at him, I want them to slowly morph into me. I'm gonna be like, this shit was see-through. What the fuck is wrong with you? And as I'm continuing to yell at him, I'm like, you are just a gnat in my eyes. You are the smallest thing, and I am so large. And I want to like turn into him
Okay. Like turn into him to what extent? Just
now. Like, basically, I want to use shop to like basically cloak myself in all of his resonance. To the point where like maybe I'm sending out like a ping to the one sprite I have, so he knows it's me, and maybe if Flick is like astute enough, he could notice that and use it. But I'm gonna try to keep him too busy. Yeah. But basically, yeah, I'm cloaking myself in his noise.
okay.
And just for shits and giggles, I want to look like him on screen. And I'm gonna do the whole like mirroring him, even though he's pretending to be Bitzy still.
Well, I guess he's not anymore. So, yeah, I'm not sure. His icon is basically a boy, but made up of individual little, like lightning bolts that sort of flash on and off. He's like, I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing, pal, but just once I'm done here, I think we're gonna have a little bit of a reckoning.
Let's have the reckoning right now, and I want to start wresting control of the network from him.
Okay.
Can I do that by using shop again to paint him as me?
Yep. See what you're trying to do.
Is that possible?
Sure.
I'm trying to do that. I'm just gonna like for roleplay purposes in the Matrix, my representation of Flick is gonna lean back and vomit Franklin onto him, all over him. Blech!
Okay, so
You can't hear us, but we're giggling.
meanwhile,
Yeah, this is brilliant.
Wait, are we laughing with or laughing at?
With
Okay, good.
so what's happening in meat space?
So is this when we are arriving at the place?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's like well, I guess assuming there's no one there to meet us, I'll call Vasquez.
ring, 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 ring,
So it goes.
ring, 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 ring.
He answers.
All right, we're on site.
Shouldn't have any difficulty getting in. I'm not sure what your plans are, but I hope they're successful.
Well, they're in motion. I'll be in touch if anything interesting happens.
Very well.
Do we have eyes on the VTOL yet?
No.
I had this idea that Vasquez would be here, but I guess he's leaving the whole thing to us. But that's cool. What does Vasquez look like? He's a fucking human, isn't he?
Amerindian / Mexican /
Right.
with bushy eyebrows. Like, bushy eyebrows in my mind is always code for carefully trimmed monobrow, but you know.
Okay, so I'm just going to turn to Clay and Orla and be all. Is it possible to make one of us look like Vasquez? Does Flick know what Vasquez looks like? He probably knows what he looks like. Is that a thing that you can do?
I don't know what Vasquez looks like.
He was at the party.
I don't know if I can do that.
Well, I'm not a master of disguise, man. Sorry.
I thought magic was magic.
I can stun bomb a motherfucker.
I mean, keep that one in mind for sure.
I don't think I can do that.
I actually want to summon a giant crow.
I can influence them to think that you look like Vasquez.
When
I mean, that's
But that's a bit of a stretch.
when all you have is a hammer.
But he needs to be in my line of sight for me to get him to think that you look like that.
That's a good point. Okay, let's just get ourselves undercover. Can we park? So from what I remember, this was like a concrete building with a steel lean-to. Is it possible to maybe open up the lean-to and we'll park the car in there and hide, or at least stay out of sight of an approaching aircraft?
Yep, that's doable.
All right, sweet. It occurs to me I should have asked Vasquez what the protocol was supposed to be if there had been anything arranged. Rather than doing an awkward second call, could I just flash back to be like, "Hey, Vasquez."
Tell me he's still on the line.
Yeah, but, what was the arrangement supposed to be for when he arrives?
I put the money in escrow. He debarks and leaves through whatever means he's arranged, and we take position.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'd like to park the car inside the lean-to area, which I'm pretty sure is where the VTOL originated from. So it's a pretty big area. And if there's anything like a tarp or anything to throw over it, I'd like to do that as well. And then,
I think Slick should do a shadowy tackle of him as he debarks the plane.
okay, so that's a good idea.
Either that or me being invisible.
No, I think both of those things. I think that all the invisibility should be done. I think Slick should be shadowy to start with. And then when he debarks, Slick goes in number one. And then the rest of us back him up to subdue the subject and also punch him.
Yes.
This is the NPC second on my list of most punchable after Stanley.
And you killed Stanley.
Well, Morty kind of killed Stanley. Oh, well, it was a group effort. Cooperation is working together.
All right, so I'm just gonna invisible myself now.
Yeah, I'll just hide behind something.
There's
I need
plenty
to roll
of cover around the field itself.
I'd
You
like
can
to
actually
prepare.
see it's flying with lights on, so you can see the lights approaching.
Summon giant crow.
Oh, just quickly, housekeeping. Chase, we couldn't bring firearms across the border on our budget as visas. Were we allowed to bring things like my lovely flick stick?
Your flick stick. What's that?
Your night
That's
baton.
It's an extendable baton.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was I able to bring the gun holster to my ankles? Guns.
Yeah, assuming it's registered to you, then yes.
Sweet. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna cast improved invisibility on myself.
Cool.
That's a sight. That's a
Yep.
4.
Yeah, I'm going to ready the largest gun that was in Chase's cache, but my flick stick is where I'm really going to go. All going well.
I can get a counter back.
Saving the sixes, aren't you?
Ah, so selfish.
If my giant crow like is born to one wing, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Neil, I guess in particular you can make out that it's definitely the VTOL because of the way that it's listing on one side from the damage that it suffered.
Nah, it's probably just he's bad at piloting.
Let's just say the damage didn't help him pilot.
Fucking amateur hour over here.
Okay, so
Can I get my giant crow?
yeah, if you like.
What's the giant crow mean?
It means roll 4 dice. And then I get a
And-
giant crow, maybe?
Is this the same kind of giant crow? So it's massive.
Yeah, it's massive. Thinking is that, like, if he has to think more about controlling the aircraft, he won't be able to fight Franklin so easily. And also, if Franklin is fucking brutalizing him so bad that he can't control the VTOL so well, the giant crow can hopefully help control a forced landing. Yeah,
All right,
that's my logic. Hey!
gotcha.
Oh fuck! That's a corner.
Easy peasy.
Sweet.
So yeah,
See, I'm
you
not so selfish.
feel the wind from its wings before it materializes. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to materialize yet. Depends. Are you ordering it straight into the fray, or
Yeah, just latch onto the VTOL.
Okay.
Yeah. Until something happens, probably doesn't need to intervene.
Well, Clay is standing there summoning a giant crow. Once the crow appears, Neil's just gonna like grab Clay and just pull him into cover, stand behind the thing.
cool? Slick.
Well, I don't know. I don't necessarily need to do anything yet, do I?
It's more just where are you placing yourself, I suppose. Like, are you particularly
right, yeah.
waiting for anything to happen?
Can you go shadowy now, or is that a thing that kind of happens in the moment?
Well, it's not like I go shadowy, right? It's just, I don't know, the shadows can help me maneuver. They don't necessarily, I don't turn into shadows. It's not like that, man.
You use the shadows?
Yeah, that's more like how it works. They're just there assisting me.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's make sure Slick's also standing behind a thing.
Yeah, but I'm kind of obviously staying hidden. I'm with the rest of the team.
Sweet.
So should I be like at the sort of tarmac area waiting to tackle someone down? Is it me that's going to tackle Flick because I'm invisible and I'll take him by surprise, or what?
No,
No, I'll be going in, but I'm not going to leave myself visible. I'll wait until the plane actually lands, and then I'll potentially maneuver in the shadows and get into position.
yeah. Let's like make first contact.
Yeah, I mean, all is not heaps of manpower.
Yeah. Go power.
No.
Them power.
Elf.
Them power.
Just power. Just power.
Just power.
Yeah. So I mean, the way I'm picturing it is, Slick can make a very fast entrance / tackle, and then the rest of us can just arrive with sticks.
I can like slip in and bundle up Bitzy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That was the chair.
Oh, you say something? Yeah.
Everyone forgot what they were saying.
There's a real virtual room clearer.
There was some cheese in my dinner. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah, interesting dreams. Yeah, so basically, whatever the biggest gun was, can I assume that's some kind of rifle?
Sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be in the shadows behind a piece of apparatus, looking out the door to towards the open area with it trained on where a VTOL will be, just in case.
So what I'll do is start a clock for control of the network.
No.
It'll be slightly reduced to 8 because of the distraction that's being provided. So if you'd like to make your assault, you can do so.
So, Slick first.
Franklin first.
Right. You need to hold back, Franklin. We've got a safety net for you. And hopefully it'll distract him.
So, when I say make my assaults, I'm gonna be like, pings a lot. It's your time to shine. And I'm gonna throw a penguin at Flick.
Right.
And a penguin in a cuirass of not a cuirass, in a harness of full plate, carrying a. He's got the queen, the queen of weapons. He's got the longsword.
Okay.
Has the VTOL landed or is it currently landing?
It's on approach, so it's probably a couple hundred meters out, slowing down, starting to.
This is our VTOL, right?
Uh-huh.
So don't fuck it up too much.
Don't say that out loud.
Oh.
But before I launch my penguin, I say, this is your moment for honor, for glory. Protect your life with your shield. Come back with your shield, and I throw him.
Okay. So we'll use the sprite as a proxy, essentially, meaning that you'll still roll the dice for it, but it will suffer the consequences.
How many dice?
So because you're not rolling your action, you're rolling its rating. So in this case, it'll be rating 3.
Oh, okay. 3 dice.
Cool.
Yay!
So yeah, it waddles. Well, I guess it's thrown into combat with Flick, who's clearly he's rendered fairly poorly, meaning like is indicated to you that his attention is clearly elsewhere. Even more so now that Clay is heading into the fray. I'll get you to do the same thing. I think Clay and have 3 dice roll for your spirit to see how effective it is at disrupting him.
Just 3?
Very minor point while the dice are being rolled. If a penguin needs to get anywhere fast, everyone knows that they slide on their stomach.
So 3 dice or 4?
3.
Oh.
Okay, so it's yeah, pretty much
why 3?
Just I guess just shorthand so that low level spirits roll 1, medium 2,
right.
high level 3. Their main advantage isn't necessarily physical anyway. It's the powers that they potentially have. In this case, if he's just sort of flying at the VTOL, then yeah, it's a fairly physical effect. Okay, so So yeah, the VTOL getting buffeted by the wings, getting buffeted, and swooped out by the semi-substantial crow, as well as Franklin's assault by another avian creature, a digital one. You can see, the VTOL's slow, amateur but steady approach is being it's going a little off course, wobbling around. But also, you can see the turrets on the weapon tracking to fire at the crow. And there is a huge thud as the assault cannon in its nose fires. Unbeknownst to Flick, these sorts of weapons have very little effect on spirits. And you can also see the machine guns firing, and you can hear rattling on the roof of the building that you're in. One of the assault rifle rounds impacts very close to Clay and Neil, however, which necessitates a resistance.
Alright, sweet. What are we resisting with?
Body.
Yeah, buddy.
You've got sufficient cover, but not sufficient to block all the damage.
5 dice, please.
5?
3 for me.
There's so many dice.
Yeah, Neil's
Can you hold
fucking,
this?
Neil's fucking hardcore.
Why do you have 5?
I've got burn.
Enhanced.
Oh my fucking god.
She just can't carry that many sixes when she's holding that many dice. Luckily, I've only got 3.
Oh, I see. So it's quantity over quality. Is that what's
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, well, okay, I guess you're right.
Okay, so not so good for Neil.
What's the consequence?
In this case, I think it's kind of along the lines of like Neil is ahead of Clay, because I think you pushed him into cover after he cast the spell. So when the shell erupts, it's secondary ordnance, so it's like a piece of the shipping. Well, probably like a small damaged forklift that has been left here for several years. Takes most of the shell and pieces of it fly out.
Good, I could have got that ringing. Pieces of an elderly Nissan forklift.
And yeah, because this is another karma sync kind of thing.
Oh, I'm just going to be wearing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's this? A bit of shrapnel in an extremity, or?
Yeah, so like I say, cover is enough so that you're not taking the brunt of it, but you're still taking level 2 harm, which is shrapnel.
Okay, well, I'm just going to have to wear it because I don't dare risk resisting.
If you have
Ow.
armor, you can cross off some
I
of
do.
that.
Well, I do have an armor jacket on.
So that could reduce it down to 1.
Yeah, sweet. I don't actually have a monitor first. I'm just writing armor smashed under my damage monitor.
Yeah, so it shreds the jacket, sends you flying, over into further into the facility itself, smashing into a bunch of old boxes and water containers.
Ow, fuck.
Clay's fine. Miraculously untouched.
You're welcome.
Shit, you're on Neil?
Yep.
Good man.
Okay. Franklin, if you'd like to carry on. Your penguin assault.
Yeah, first things first, the insults. How's that reckoning going, motherfucker? That was a little bit loud. I apologize. But Franklin is very much enjoying this. I would like to see if I can get one of Flick's sprites to attack Flick, if any of them have manifested themselves. No?
He probably has called them, and they haven't actually done anything just yet. So yeah, as they arrive, you could do that.
Okay, then yeah, I'd like to hold my action until they arrive. And
It's
feel
pretty
like,
much now. So yeah.
I'm being attacked! Help me!
Cool. All right. So yeah, you want to use your shop for that, presumably.
Yep.
See how effective that is.
And that's going to be influence, so... Is that going to be influence?
Mm-hmm.
3 dice.
So yeah, we're at risky.
This is a really important roll, Amanda. Oh, you did good! You did so good! You did so well!
Made it all worth it.
Welcome.
Wait, have any of these been just a single 6, or is it no or double? Like,
No.
There was a single 6 before, but yeah,
but
there's
3
a-
doubles.
I think so. Yeah. So that puts you back on 1 karma.
No, that puts me... Can you go into negative karma?
No, you can't.
Okay, then yeah, I'm on 1 karma.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So yeah, a pair of his battery bots turn up, but are rendered confused by your expert masquerade.
And for Flick's benefit, I'd like to end my turn by, I don't know, just imagine Willie Baker from Hunt from the Wilder People just being like,
Okay. So I'll check that down. So out of 8, 3. So yeah, he's getting assailed from kind of all sides by your sprite and his now, which is seriously. You can see his icon start to slow down as he's having to devote more and more kind of his attention to. Well, he's splitting it in multiple different ways. His cores are being very taxed. It's bio cores. So the VTOL's still kind of coming into a landing, but it is looking like it's going to be on it, like to Neil's somewhat singed opinion, it's going to be a bit more of a crash landing than a nudge landing at the moment. It's heading pretty much straight towards where you guys are, but it's based on its trajectory, it's not going to crash on you, it's going to crash ahead of you, maybe 20 or 30 meters.
Sure wish I had a working vehicle control rig about now.
All right, so Franklin, it's also at this point you become aware of just dimly out of the corner of your eye that you two are not alone apart from the sprites. There is something else present in the node. It looks like a small silver black, like dark silver, grey silver, fly. And it doesn't emit any resonance tone. And it's sort of flying above the battle. You're on mute.
may I analyze it?
Yes, you can.
May I roll 2 dice, please?
Okay, so that's not going to get you anywhere except for a consequence. In this case, it's going to be Flick taking a jab at you while you're distracted.
I accept the consequences.
Okay. So it's going to be level 2 harm.
No, I'm going to resist that because I'm already level 4 harm.
Well, you can take... You should be at level 3, technically.
Okay.
You can take level 2... Like, I think you can take 2 level 2s, 2 level 1s. It just means you're suffering more injuries. So look at it like that. It's not like you're already maxed out at level 3.
Okay.
You can still take more damage. It's just going to start affecting you in other ways, like in this case it will. Like taking level 2 harm mean you'll be down a die, essentially, now.
Okay, no, I need to resist that, I think, actually. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Resisting with my mind.
Thanks for catching
3
the
dice,
play.
please.
Hoping she's got one more 6 in there.
Yes!
Oh,
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, your attention is very narrowly drawn back to the battle in time for a lightning bolt to fly past your head. So you're able to snap out of the way. Feel it kind of... You can smell the oxidized air as it passes, even in the unreality of the matrix.
Now, I realize we're in conflict right now, but that was rude.
Okay, so the VTOL makes contact with the ground and starts carving a strip of ground out as it comes down hard. Its inertia hasn't tipped it over, but you can almost feel like it's at that tipping point.
Watch the paintwork.
Where's the crow in all of this?
Oh, the crow's been buffeting it, like I say, it's what provided a reduction in the clock, essentially, giving him something else to focus on at the same time. All right, so yeah, it comes to a grinding halt. Yeah, about 20 meters away from the kind of hangar area that you guys are taking shelter in, to some degree.
But this is me and you go time.
Yep.
Yeah, if at all possible, I'd like to return to my original position, pointing a gun at the door. I know there's a better word for it. Hatch.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna run up and assume like a position close by to where he may exit. I'm not going to be the first point of contact. I feel like that may be slick,
I only said it 4 times.
but just as a
Yeah.
backup. And if the door may close behind him, I would kind of want to like slip in just to try and retrieve
Watch my
Bitzy.
Watch my fire line.
Yeah, I'm kind of back up for Slick.
Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to literally just bolt in as quick as possible. I don't necessarily if one of the hatches is open or if there's access to part of the plane, I'm bolting straight in and I'm looking for him.
Okay. There's no access yet. It doesn't appear to have taken like significant structural damage upon impact. Certainly not enough to get inside, but that may soon be a different story if Franklin gains control of the network. So if you want to go for that, once again, like I say, Flick is starting to look a little insubstantial at this point, and you see him start to retreat back away from the node.
Yeah, like as he's like retreating, I want to spread out my tendrils and like I guess using a mixture of shop and operate or something, like
Shoprate.
or I don't really know enough about hacking, but basically I want to remove Flick's credentials or just set up a firewall.
Yeah, I mean, you basically have to get through his defense to get access, and once you've done that, you'll have access to the network that he's connected to. So then you'll be able to take control of it.
Then, yeah.
But you can use that action as a way to do that if you like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do that. Shoperate. 3 dice.
Oh no. Let you down at the last minute.
Resist.
Yep.
3 dice. Now, Amanda, look at me. Oh no.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Double
Oh dear.
trauma.
No, in this case, yeah, so there's a few things that happen here. The consequence is that the extra intrusion that you're attempting compromises your disguise, which makes his sprites cease attacking him. And then the extra trauma, not so good. What can happen there? You're already crippled. What can I do to you? I guess I could give you some more damage. I mean, you're already coughing blood. You can always cough up some extra blood.
And shit out some blood.
Yeah, I shit my pants.
Alright, I shouldn't. No.
In the Escalade.
Yeah, never mind.
Full GI tract bleed. No, so yeah, it's more fading from this. This time it is the level 2. I guess you've been fighting off.
Fuck.
And your blood pours out of your mouth and nose. And now that Flick's not piloting the craft and he has a bit more attention, he's like, I think you're done, old man. You had a good try, but it's time to let the younger generation take it down.
Oh shit, Sam.
He's still inside, right?
Yes.
Thanks a lot. Help.
Can I have my crow just intervene?
I was going to say, yeah, the benefit of spirits is that they don't have to obey rules like there's a wall here.
There's a very obvious pitch here.
Oh yeah, pick out his eyes.
I mean, I was going to go with like claw the insides of his skull entirely out of his head, but you know, matter of degree.
What about that guy that like stole fire from the gods and he was cursed to have his liver eaten by an eagle and it regrew and the cycle repeated itself every day for the rest of eternity?
Prometheus.
Yeah. I mean, initially I was just thinking, shake the aircraft a bit so that he'd just lose concentration.
All that.
I mean, if at all possible, I'd prefer we damage him and not the VTOL. It's already a little bit on the poorly side.
I mean, if we damage him, doesn't it crash?
It's already crashed.
It's already on the ground.
Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah,
no,
we just need to.
Yeah, it hasn't smashed into the ground, but it's dug a sort of channel and it's basically settling now.
Feel free to tear his corporeal form totally apart.
Okay, cool. Can the crow just like have a big old motherfucking peck at his head?
Yeah, do you want to tell it to kill him?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let's fucking go. let's see
Right,
how it goes.
Yeah, I just want to see the the level to what Clay is actually asking it to do. It's more than capable of doing so if you just say the word.
Oh, man. I mean, if it just so happens that he can't stand up to a giant crow pecking at him, that's kind of on him to some degree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all I'm asking is what are you instructing the spirit to do?
Look at what he was wearing.
Thought you had my back, Neil, but you've kind of ruined your credibility with that remark.
I'm just deconstructing the trope.
I'm just instructing it to attack with almost lethal force.
Almost lethal.
Yeah, which is to say, potentially lethal.
Okay. If we're leaving the door open to that, we'll roll a fortune die. So 1 to 3 bad consequences, which in this case I am siding with the causes death.
We were just having an almost lethal fight, so don't.
You roll a d6, please.
1.
So that's a positive effect.
Well, depending on your perspective, it's a not lethal, or at least not immediately lethal effect.
That was an almost 6 roll.
By all the standards.
So, yeah. Clay, how do you command your spirits? Are you playing while you do that? Or
Yeah, constantly jamming,
So the tone of your song changes, and yeah, the rest of you see the crow become insubstantial for a second. The power of it is still evident even to those of you that can't perceive magic, as a distortion in the air, like a heat haze, even in the sort of chill evening, as it passes through the shell of the crashed VTOL. And there is silence.
All right, guys, we should probably get in there.
Yeah, wait, run, go, go, go.
Wait, how did we actually go in? How did we get in? Because if there was a way in, like, Slick would already be in, wouldn't he?
Yeah, so the door hasn't opened yet.
But you engineer that motherfucker.
Franklin?
Yeah.
You there, buddy?
Franklin's barely hanging on.
Franklin's in a bad way.
Yeah, but I've taken care of one of his concerns at least.
Yeah, as you run up, you see the door does like hiss open, and you can see Bitzy on the other side of it, leant over, splashed with blood, and looking very woozy. And
I made some hot sweet tea.
I'm gonna run over to Bitzy and
I
heal
wanna
her.
run over as well.
Let's all run over.
I'm in.
I'm not running anywhere.
no.
I am invisible. At
I
this
trip
point.
over an invisible person.
We do the Baywatch run. The faster I run, the slower I go.
More frame rate. Yeah. Well, yeah, Slick's there first, potentially. So.
Yeah.
He was positioned thusly.
Doing. There's some screaming from inside. Anguished wailing.
Yeah, I want to. Obviously, I can tell that everyone, the whole team, is literally behind me. Moving out afterwards. So I'm going to move forward with confidence because I can't necessarily help Bitzy. I'm pretty confident that Clay or Aurora will sort that out. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going straight into plane. I need to find Flick.
Okay, so it's easy to track him from the wailing. You can see he is in the cockpit. He is sort of on his butt on the ground, holding his hands to his eyes, and blood is running down his hands between his fingers, and he is hyperventilating.
Right. Well, I want to grab him in such a manner that it does restrain him to a certain degree. I'm guessing he's obviously quite beaten up, but I still don't want him to necessarily lash back at me. But is the plane not plane? Well, is the VTOL dangerous? Is it gonna like blow up at any point, or is it damaged in any way, like badly?
I mean, you're not an expert in such things, but looks all right. It's not smoking. It's not hissing. There's no fire. This is probably the limit of your mechanical knowledge.
All right. Well, then at this point, I probably just want to restrain him until the rest of the gang come in. So I want to maybe kind of hold him down to the ground. I'll be like behind him, kind of have him in a bit of a chokehold, and then maybe have his legs. Use my legs to kind of pin down his arms a bit. And I'll just be screaming out to the team like, I fucking got him. Get up here.
Yeah. As soon as Neil gets in there, he's gonna charge in there. Give Slick the Shadowrunner's nod, and then grab Flick's arms, cable tie him, and be like, "Thanks, bro. I got this." And flip him onto his face and hog tie him.
Okay, so
and do it like a bit roughly, like an only slightly unethical cop.
So I guess Slick would see first, but Neil obviously sees as he comes in to grab him off Slick that the gaping, bleeding holes where Flick's eyes used to be.
Oh man.
Okay, that's Gar's response. Neil's response is, "Don't fucking struggle."
Stop resisting.
Yeah, so I guess
I'm
Not
right in
quite that
assuming
level.
it was the crow that did this. Clay did this, right?
I'm like, "Nice work, buddy."
does the gun shoot people, or
Does the system murder people or the cops murder people? Oh.
So seeing as Flick is like hugely injured and otherwise occupied, can we now remove any last remnants of his control from the network? Just scrub him out of it?
well, you can try.
Sure.
as the fly grows a little bit bigger and swoops down into the node.
No, sir, I don't like it.
And starts running its little fly legs over it.
Oh,
Can I swat the fly?
Okay. So you'll need to assault it.
Here we go.
Can I get my sprites to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I didn't say you'd lost access to them, so I suppose you still have them.
Awesome. Because with 0 and assault, that would have been fun. But yeah, I'll get so pings a lot. You have conducted yourself well this day. Could you please take care of that fly for me as well?
Okay, so he's a little worse for wear as well in the pitched battle that he's had. Flick sprites are still there too, but they're kind of just milling around without instructions at this point. So your sprite heads towards the fly and starts to peck at it, presumably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three dice.
Yeah, don't worry about that at this point. What are the rest of you doing?
Healing Bitzy.
and what are we? I guess
She
are
doesn't
we?
look like she's. I mean, she's dazed, but she doesn't really appear to be harmed.
Yeah, I read that as being Flick's blood.
Oh, jeez. All right. I guess I'll go and heal Flick. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
This fly thing. Are we all seeing it in like a AR, or is it just a matrix thing?
Yeah, just a matrix thing.
The assumption we're going off is that's not related to Flick, right?
So, Neil, you get a call.
Bit busy. Yo, sorry. Can I tell who the call is from?
It's from Vasquez.
Yeah, this is gonna go.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna open the connection and be like, subject secured. Over.
I know. You seem to have mostly gotten what you want. I suggest you let me take what I want.
Okay. Quick out of character. Do I remember what the fuck that is? Or
It's the VTOL, buddy.
Yeah. What do you think he probably wants?
He said he didn't want the VTOL,
But he said we could have the VTOL.
Oh,
He might
Yeah.
have lied.
Mr. Johnson lied. Unknown for.
No. I refuse to believe that Vasquez will be less than perfectly honest with this.
Because you've always been straight up with him.
Piece of shit.
Fuck that. I don't have a VCR. This is ugly. Like, what you want, what would that be? And I'm just going to strap myself into the pilot's chair, mute me fucking shit, and be like, strap in, boys! We're going manual, butch! And I'd also like to sweat, how high can I go? Extremely heavily.
Okay, so. Yeah, we won't keep going too much longer. It'll have to be a cliffhanger ending. So, imagine Moff Gideon voice, I guess, where he's like, remember how I said if it was left uncontrolled, it would need to be destroyed? I have 2 jets in high altitude right now. If you don't hand it over to me, it's going to turn into dust.
We've been played, boys. Can I verify his story about the jets by any means? Are they showing up on my mini map?
You can't fast travel because there are enemies nearby. You're on mute, Franklin. You could. Well, how do you want to do it? You could potentially.
Just using the craft sensors.
Table talk real quick.
Yeah, you could use
Could
operate.
we float the idea of maybe letting Ben have the small victory?
No.
You don't have
It does kind of go against everything I believe in.
So yeah, you could potentially operate or analyze. So
Yeah, I'll operate, I guess. Could I have? Sorry, I'm on the wrong fucking screen. 4 dicicles.
All right. So the sensors verify that there is 1.
I don't like those odds.
Slightly better.
All right. I'm just going to look over at like Morty or Chase or Jonesy. So I throttle it back.
So Bitzy, I guess she sort of chimes into, I guess, the group chat. Like she's slurring her words. Did you bring my dick?
Presumably.
Spin the camera and flashback to totally getting that dick. Yeah, I'll totally do that.
My backpack.
I got a little minute to think.
Got it right here, Bitzy. Just toss it to her.
Okay. So she jacks in. And she says, "Get us the hell out of here."
Holy fuck.
And we all fly into the into happiness forever.
What?
Yeah, I'm assuming Neil has to instruct the car that has the unconscious and bleeding, well, not unconscious, semi-conscious and bleeding Franklin in it, who can't possibly operate it. So.
I actually missed that while I was typing. What?
Franklin, who is in a fetal position and bleeding from many orifices in the Matrix, sends Bitzy a receipt for services rendered and sends the rest of the team an itemized bill.
Fuck you, Franklin.
I'd say he's earned it. Come on.
I threw up more.
I'm charging you for the valet to clean the car on behalf of Neil.
You see $50, $50 and appear. And you.
Okay, so we save Bitzy. I didn't hear what happened to
Can we hear what Bitsy's got to say? Does Bitzy, like, is she good to talk now? Can we hear her?
What the fuck happened?
Story?
Do you want to go into that? It seemed to be a good moment to stop.
All right, yeah, all right, sorry.
I mean, I kind of do.
I still don't know what happened.
I can stay online for however long if Ben wants to monologue as Bitzy.
It's just not thematically. It's an anticlimax. That's my only concern.
I've missed the last maybe like 10 minutes. Everything happened very quickly. Not 10 minutes, 5 tops.
Well, Bitzy asked if we brought her dick.
I was here for that.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clay, well, I don't know who paid the camera, but someone had her dick, gave her the dick, she jacked in, and she's providing cover for just long enough for you to escape the trap, is the idea.
And the VTOL.
Yeah, we're about to zoom away.
Into the horizon.
Which was already damaged before it crashed.
Yeah, it's not any better than it was. It's not like the crash fixed the broken wing.
I've seen enough cartoons where you get smacked with a piece of 2x4, restoring memory to know that that's exactly how that should work, Ben.
But the main advantage is simply that there's two things. One is that the Fly was a corporate decker trying to break into the system after Franklin and Flick had worn themselves out, essentially. But also that the jet is a drone, so Bitzy is able to affect enough cover from those two things for you guys to escape.
So currently, we're all together in the VTOL with
Well,
Bitzy.
Franklin isn't. He's the only one who's outside because he was still in the car. But Neil can automatically order the car to go somewhere else, so you can.
Okay. I was gonna say we're all flying off into the sunset.
I want to go home.
Franklin.
Franklin's being driven off into the sunset.
Yeah.
I guess
And then we get a little overlay in the sunset, just some text, and all was well.
Only just.
Yeah, keep in mind that I actually can't control the vehicle any better than a random person at this point, so I can just say all I can do is tell it where to go, just like Franklin or anyone else could.
I mean, grid guide, 180 k's an hour.
It's pretty good.
Is Bitzy extremely grateful for us to save her? I do want to know what happened, even though you think it's boring. I want to know.
Yeah. Well, it's not that it's boring. Okay.
We're not going to like this session any less if you give us an epilogue,
It's already
Ben.
gone on too long, so now it has to continue. Okay, so in that case, it means you're able to get out of range long enough to engage the systems on the VTOL that cloak it from sight to some degree. And presumably this is when you're kind of on your way to rendezvous with Franklin in his vehicle and pick him up. And Bitzy checks out and looks exhausted.
All right. Well, I'm going to be having a morning tea with Bitzy tomorrow to get all of the goss.
Okay, so we're going to that then. We're fast forwarding to that part. Is that
Sure.
that's the part you were specifically interested in? Okay.
Yes. I want to know exactly what happened from the time she was supposedly taken from her apartment until we found her. Oh, because she had talked to me when we were going up the mountain about, oh, me and Flick are having some problems. Anything from when we left her and after we came back from Germany onwards. Because that's when we lost touch, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you arrived back in the two. Well, you didn't know that you'd lost touch then, but...
No. Shitty friend I am.
Okay, so is this a case of everyone's having tea with Bitzy the next day?
Yep.
Or everyone's eavesdropping on the conversation?
I made a cake. I made a
My
cake
icon.
for everyone.
My
Obviously not a
icon's
cake.
there.
Yeah, well, Franklin's and a bit laid up.
I'm just imagining Neil and Clay with these tiny little like teacups. It's like
I mean, I personally really want to know, but I don't think Slick would care too much. He's probably going to be there, but he just isn't really too interested.
Well, Slick probably has other business to go on because the twins.
the kids.
Yeah.
Are we going to let Ben tell us what happened or not?
Okay,
Come
so
on.
Bitsy's like, I don't really know where to begin, guys. He gone a bit quiet when we were down in Calfrey. when I arrived back, I got a Uber back to my apartment, and he took it over. I never made it home.
That's fucked up.
I was able to get a message out to Franklin. I would have sent something to you guys, but I thought he would have picked it up. Like, Franklin was kind of the only one I thought the message would get out to, and he'd be able to do something with it. And then maybe Flick would be none the wiser, you know. He just kind of went crazy. I'd never seen him like this before. It's like he was talking to himself some of the time, you know, like really like legit, like old flat screen movie kind of crazy.
Talking to himself.
Well, yeah, I didn't see anyone there, and he kind of disabled all my access. He might have been talking to his sprites or something, but I couldn't tell. Like, it didn't sound like. I mean, he's never had to do that sort of thing in the past. He just, you know, does whatever it is that you guys do, and they do what he wants. But he was having a conversation.
Huh. Franklin looks concerned by that.
And then what happened?
What have we done with Flick, by the way?
Good point.
You tied him up. He's bleeding seriously badly, so I'm not sure what you did with him in the intro. Is that something you want to cover now, or?
Yeah, I'm going to say I healed him.
Okay. And otherwise, his current whereabouts are TBD.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like a group decision.
Is he tied up in the same room as that that APN dude?
Oh, shit.
Just chuck him in the hole.
Yeah, that's right. He's
Now, you two take a look at Bitzy. If you work hard and cooperate, that's what you guys aspire to.
Take a look at Bitzy. Too soon.
Wait, what?
Healing somebody with magic doesn't restore lost
He's got no eyes?
pieces.
No, Bitsy's fine.
Bitsy's
What?
fine.
Yeah, take a look at Bitzy.
You're telling him to take a look. The guy that has no eyes.
Oh.
You
yeah.
told Flick to take a look
no,
at
no,
Because of
Bitzy.
you.
Oh,
The guy has no
he-
eyes
he-
because of you.
He's a technomancer, so he can like hack into cameras and see using that.
Granted.
Whew, nice save play.
Technomancers can access the Matrix without any hardware, right?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess that
Because then
saves.
Franklin's there to, protect you.
Well, I mean, this is
Can you guys just stick him in a tinfoil-lined coffin, please?
Yeah, I hear tinfoil stops all manner of EM radiation. Yeah.
It would have to be something that, like, you stop off all the way and get the mother of all jammers and chuck it in that room.
I want to know is why Flick did this in the first place. What was his motivation? That's not enough.
I mean, I can only speculate, but from my experience, when you can do what you want, you tend not to worry about other people's feelings on the matter.
I'm wondering if he was
Yeah,
jealous
that's bleak.
of Bitsy's relationship with us and just wanted to control her.
Your technomancers were so concerned with
Yep.
what they could do, they didn't stop to think whether or not they should.
So, yeah, Bitzy says, I don't know, like I say, this isn't the first bad relationship I've had, just on the download, but he just never struck me as this kind of fucked up, I thought I was dating a little higher class this time. This guy was like a boy from the suburbs. Like, he broke into places
no.
for fun. He never hurt anybody.
Some of those boys from the suburbs are legit psychos.
You
You
got to
know,
identify
like,
the amber
seriously.
flags as well as the red flags, because the amber flags, you're like, oh, may not be a thing, definitely will be a thing.
I don't want to detract for a second from the possibility that Flick is just a massive psycho. But do we want to examine the possibility that there's a third party involved?
I was suspecting something as well.
I mean,
sure.
I don't know if now is the time to go into it, but maybe we should talk about it later. But my tailor Fiddlesticks has talked about some interesting rumblings in the spirit side of things, and myself over time I have also noticed some interesting rumblings on the Matrix. I wouldn't be surprised if there are third parties at play that haven't yet presented themselves.
Orla, for one, would like to move to the other side of the country. So that's just her.
Didn't you already move to the other side of the world?
Well, across the pond.
Although here's the thing about personal problems. You can run from them, but they'll chase after you.
Yeah, I've experienced
Anyway,
that.
this
I
all
know what
seems like
that
a
all's
whole.
all about.
Anyway, the rest of this conversation seems like a whole lot of not my problem. Bitzy, you got my receipt. You guys don't forget those invoices. I'd like them paid on the first of the month. All right.
Oh,
Cheers.
dude.
See you
Sorry,
guys.
you dropped this on your way out.
I can't
think
see
you should-
you.
Probably pick it up.
You might find the
Oh no! I've got mine. I've got mine right here. It's right here. So it's fine. I've got it. Don't even worry.
might find the bill for
You
Medivac.
keep that one. I've got
Tell
my
us
one. I've got my one.
All right, I think we're wrapping up now. Next week on
Meadow Washer Terriovic. It doesn't work as well.
you gotta think of a better thing, but
Yes, we take a brief hiatus and come back writing next. And,
Yeah.
and Ben will be playing.
mhm.